Welcome back to this KLR Virtual Academy lecture series, my dear participants and audience. So far, we have been using this platform to convey some academic content for the sake of shaping your attitude and your developing your skill base, and perhaps useful for your coming academic exams also, right? In the second series, we are moving with communication skills. Communication is the existence activity of any kind of human being or any business entity or any kind of organization or institution, right? So in the previous 3 sessions, we have discussed regard to communication, its importance, communication process. And next session, second session, we are at the part of objectives of communication. And in the previous session, we have discussed regard to levels of communication, means number of people involving in communication process, either one sender or one receiver, or maybe more than one sender or one receiver. So you can see that aspect we have discussed in the previous session also. We have discussed regard to intrapersonal communication, talking to yourself, and interpersonal communication between more than 2 people. And next one, communication in a group context, that is called as group communication, and communication in a public context, that is known as public communication, and communication with a wide range of audience called as a mass communication. We have discussed the elements of such communication levels. Now we are moving into types of communications. Remember that communication levels denotes the quantum, the number of receivers and number of senders being involved in that process, whereas types of communication confined with the usage of words, text, language, or some symbols or something, right? So communication is a cumulative activity, not a single element activity. It involves usage of words, usage of language, and usage of sounds, usage of your gestures, body language, and perhaps a combination of all these. That's why if you are considered in your communication activity to only use of words and language, then it is called as verbal communication. On the other hand, usage of sounds, symbols, signs, gestures, and some body language aspects in the communication process, then it is called as non-verbal communication. One must know what is a verbal communication and what is a non-verbal communication. And effective communication is such usage of both on time power and time requirement. You are supposed to use verbal communication where it is actually need, and you are also supposed to know familiar where to use non-verbal communication, and you are also able to know where to use both of these. Okay, so exclusive verbal communication may not fulfill your task, exclusive non-verbal communication may not fulfill your task, whereas a combination of such both may not be useful in such communication, in such context. That's why you must discreet yourself where to use verbal alone, where to use non-verbal alone, and where to use both together, right? So verbal communication, somewhat oral. Don't go that verbal communication, oral communication are not same. Oral communication is part of verbal, but the definition stands here. Verbal or oral communication uses spoken words to communicate messages. Spoken words, I am saying. Spoken words is nothing but combination of such letters, and it is the part of a selected language. That language may have its script or not. You can see that in our country. Of course, in the world, many languages are there. Some of languages don't have script. Though they have no writing evidence or they have no script mechanism, but they are also using by many people. That's why usage of spoken words, spoken, you must spoke or speak, that is important in verbal communication. Verbal communication uses spoken words and particular language. This is called as verbal communication. And next one, verbal communication is applicable to wide range of situations ranging from informal office discussion to public speeches. Yes, you compare with non-verbal communication. Verbal communication is the predominant aspect where this is the important category, I mean type of communication being used in many more situations. You are supposed to use except talking to yourself, there is no need to talk to yourself with the use of words. You can, I mean, deliver yourself in a cognitive manner. Of course, sometimes you are also used to talk to yourself by these words also, right? In case of interpersonal communication, in case of group communication, in case of public and mass communication, all situations and many more situations will be fall in this verbal communication. Wide range of situations are being formulated with verbal communication context. That may be an informal context, I mean unofficial or unauthorized discussions or deliberations. That may be a formal context or official information exchange, what it may be, right? So in this today session, we will be dealing with verbal communication and its overall view also, right? The objectives of verbal communication. Once you have familiar with the usage of spoken words in communication is called as verbal communication. Why we need that spoken words can be known by using this following deliberation. So stronger decision making, right? So you can use signs, body language, symbols or some sounds or some actions or some activities, some performances also in your communication process. But such communication process may not able to imprint your image among the audience or the receiver. I mean to say, if you are supposed to get the, I mean, approval of the people who around you, that may be a single person, that may be a group context, or that may be in a public context, or that may be in a mass context. If you are supposed to sell your idea, if you want to get approval of your decision making, I mean your decision, the decision you have taken, you must need this verbal communication. I mean usage of statements, usage of some words, usage of some sentences, some grammatical expressions. I mean some grammatical usage of your tone, like falling tones, fall rise tones, raising fall tones, usage of such beautiful mechanism, vocal mechanism. You, if you practice or if you use, definitely your decision will be approved by the people whom you want to get approved. I mean to say, if it is a decision making process, usage of verbal communication is only important aspect. Of course, are followed by the non-verbal also, but verbal communication will ultimately fulfill your want. The next one, increased productivity. Many kinds of deliberations, technologies being taken place nowadays, right? If you want to increase your productivity, means the ratio between input and output of a production process can be called as productivity. Right? You want to increase your productivity, and there is only need to motivate your workforce. So people will be motivated by verbal communication more rather non-verbal communication. So motivation is a process, orating, communicating through words and work, I mean spoken context to motivate your students, to motivate your workers. And not only, and just the topics here related to business aspects, because our topic is some professional context. Of course, increased productivity maybe in case of organization, and increased performance maybe in case of a teacher student learning perspective. Of course, in a family environment also, if you want to improve the performance of your student, if you want to improve the performance of your kid, then you are supposed to use verbal communication by usage of beautiful words, by usage of, by narrating stories, by explaining some case studies and some success stories through verbal communication. They will be definitely motivated, and there will be a strong opinion base that will be happen. That is called as attitude shaping, and refining attitude also will be happen, so that ultimate commitment and morale will be improved, and the performance will be definitely high. The next one, steadier workflow. It means no disturbances in the workflow, like regular interval of instructions lead to steadier workflow. You might have felt I'm saying what I'm saying here. When you are attending, writing an exam, the invigilator used to inform you that first 1 hour is completed. Please make silence. please usage of the, please go through the instructions, print on the examination answer paper, last half an hour, do write page numbers, do fill all questions, all the instructions. We can say that this is in the form of a printed, sheet, the pasting in front of you, but nobody will see you. If you use to provide such instructions by using of words and in a spoken way, definitely that examination flow will be steady. Same as in the context of work condition also. Next one, strong business relationships and enhanced professional image, right? Good interpersonal skills will be depend on the good usage of words and spoken techniques. That's why if you want to maintain good relationship with your workforce, with your management, or with your investors, with your creditors, suppliers, or with the monitoring agencies, and if you want to improve your professional image among this peer team, peer people of you. For example, if you are a teacher, you want to improve your academic image, definitely good words will be lifting, not good qualification backed by you. That's why usage of good word is important. Then next one, clearer promotional materials. Yes, this is one kind of marketing mix, promotional mix. You can see that promotional activity is such that enhances, not only enhances, that activates the idea generated by your organization imageful presentation. That will motivate the customer base to move on to shops and get purchase of goods and services. So in case of promotional materials, definitely vocal words are important. You can see many advertisements. There are some beautiful words used by some. You can see that washing powder Nirma. Okay, Amul baby, pride of India, Desh ki namak, all are usage of word, words, spoken words called as verbal communication. Even though some songs and situational, paradigms and paragraphs are also presented in that advertisement, but the word or the background voice or the voiceover among the advertisements or communication is more active than non-verbal communication. Next one, provide advice, right? If you want to give an advice, for example, you can see that this can be in consultancies like management consultancies and legal advisory boards and tax consultancies. They will advise you regard to your queries, what to do and what not to do. They will persuade you, they will convince you on a new issue or some new context taken place. Okay? In such case, advising of others or providing advice to others, only verbal communication is important aspect and best way. And next one, provide an order. If you go to a shop, definitely you need to make an order. I want tea, I want coffee, I want a pizza, I want a burger. Don't go for that by making signs and symbols and actions. Providing, of course, that may be useful, but first you need to speak specifically on what item you are expecting. You want to get that time. That's why providing an order, it is an important aspect, verbal communication. Next one, suggestion, right? So suggestions and instructions all are being part of verbal communication. Yes, students, I mean to convey in this slide that these are some areas where verbal communication is an important aspect. Then providing suggestions to others, definitely verbal communication is most important. And persuasion, you want to persuade a file, an action or an activity or a task with your team members or with your family members or with your teacher students context or with your the public where you are supposed to intend. That's why persuasion of people will be fruitful by usage of verbal communication also. Next one, education is the best base for learning, teaching, learning and evaluation perspective. So in education process is also, you might have remembered in your school ages, you need to recite your tables from table 1 to table 20 many a times per a day. You need to speak the letters taught by your teachers, like A, B, C, D, loudly, and A for apple, B for that many more times and more loudly. What it means that that body motor activity will shape your brain set to recognize and to recite what you are learned at that time. Whenever you see the letter A, definitely the mind spoke with to you that it is A. Whenever see that APPLE, your mind will suggest you that this is called as apple. This is to be called as apple. This is a strong opinion base. I mean, strong cognitive memory base on your mind taken place by usage of verbal communication. That's why in education, silence is not permitted. Silence is not permitted. The active speaking of a teacher is the better deliberation or dissemination of knowledge and information base. That's why in education, you can see verbal communication role is most and more. Next one, you have some warning. If you want to warn anyone, definitely there is a better option by usage of verbal communication. Even though you have pasting a danger symbol in electrification areas such as railways and railway stations, but usage of words is most important. Okay, nowadays in the context of COVID-19, many people are making announcing that usage of mask and usage of maintenance of social distance and not to move outside from the home. These are some spokes you can see nowadays. This is one important aspect regard to warning people through words. Next one, raising morale and motivation. Just we have discussed that motivation is an activating process. Everybody will born with its own capacity, no doubt it. On which area and which community and which paradigm he was born, but he is inbuilt with ready-made energy. But the important aspect is there is a lack of willingness to do. So everyone has a capacity to do, but there is no willingness. The process of converting capacity into willingness is called as motivation, right? And raising morale means highly motivated people will make a strong opinion and a positive opinion its organization's worthiness. This is called as morale. High level of commitment can be simply called as morale. So that much of morale will be developed by usage of spoken words only, right? I mean, in gatherings, in meetings, and in some group discussions, and in some team meetings, the manager, somewhat the leader, will supposed to speak on good words, beautiful words, and motivating, playing of, usage of motivating stories, case studies will definitely shape the mindset of the team members and the workforce towards preparation of their mindset for highly motivation, and that will be converted into morale. Okay, if the rate of morale of workforce is high in an organization, then there will be a peaceful environment you can see in that work organization. There is no disturbances for workflow, and the productivity will increases, and the ultimately business activities will be refined, and the business objectives will be met within no time. That's why raising of morale and motivation, not only in workforce, morale and motivation among the students, among your family members, among the citizen of that nation is important aspect. You can see Narendra Modi ji speaking many times during this, not only during his tenure, regard to promoting. He might have spoken on environment protection. He might have spoken on International Yoga Day. He might have spoken on demonetization. He might have delivered on GST implementation. And nowadays, he might have been using this spoken technology and verbal communication regard to Atmanirbhar Bharat and COVID-19 fighting and something. Right? So this is one important aspect of verbal communication. And next one, 13th one, you can see to give and receive information. Best method to give any information to and to receive any information from others. When you went to a railway station, you want to know the train timings. You are supposed to speak on that time. No usage of body language will not permit you. Will not get you that information. That's why to give anything, information to others in any context, intrapersonal to public mass communication, and to receive any information from all these levels of communication, you are supposed to use words and a predominant language prevailed at that time also. To provide counseling, this is some an activity related to psychological aspects. This is for motivating. This is from making people awareness, and this is an healing technique also, and this is an what I mean to say, some kind of clinical therapy also called as counseling. Counseling we see for the in the context of schools, education and institutes, friend circles, peer groups, and counseling need in the work environment and public sectors also. I mean public context also. So provide counseling, you are supposed to speak on that topic. That's why in case of counseling, verbal communication is the ultimate choice of a communicator. The next one, to improve discipline, right? Keep silent, do your work. You can see that you can remember these words by your teacher or your parents. This is to maintain discipline, not only maintenance of discipline. Maintenance of discipline means making everything in order, the flow of workflow to be seen without any hurdles. That is the ultimate objective of any kind of discipline. That's why to improve discipline or to lay down disciplinary environment in your working context, definitely the person, the person responsible for maintaining that discipline is to use verbal communication. So these are some important areas where you are supposed to use super words, super sentences, and super phrases. Don't go that speaking many times or more time on a simple issue is not a verbal communication. Usage of meaningful and suitable and brief words are the effective or essentials for verbal communication. We will discuss some more regard to verbal communication. Next one, types of verbal communication. Usage of spoken words and language is called as verbal communication. In such, if you are using such words or language by your vocal way, I mean by your speaking, then it is called as oral. No, if you want to communicate same information by usage of words and language in the form of written format, in the form of writing, then it is called as writing communication or written communication. Remember that two categories. Oral communication means speaking on own, speaking of the things you want to communicate through speak or speeches or talk or some deliberation, then it is called as oral. Otherwise, you want to communicate in the form of writing, then it is called as written communication. So we will discuss what is what. The most apparent type of verbal communication is oral, using of words and sounds. Here now I am using oral communication because I am using my vocal and I am delivering this topic, this talk using of English language. Next one, conversation involving using spoken words. Words that are meant for speaking or speech context is called as spoken words. Whatever we are using simply can be called as spoken words. The next one, at least one receiver and at least one sender must be there. In case of implementation of oral communication, there must be one sender and one receiver. Many receivers maybe, many senders may be, but minimum one receiver and one sender to be present in that context for oral communication. And you can see in the this oral communication in the form of speeches. Many kind of gatherings, people supposed to speak on words like speeches. The next one, presentations, right? You might have involved in group discussions and group presentations, seminar presentations, conference presentations, and something. The next one, you can see that announcements, right? In public places, you can see that announcements also one kind of example for oral communication. Railway station, bus stations, some inquiry areas, and some tourist places also you can see that announcements are best method. And simple feedback like yes or even no, non-descript oh, ah, like. So this is also called as oral communication. Are you okay? Yes, you can reply yes. Are you happy? Yeah, yeah, oh, who, right? Nowadays you are seeing many more this non-descript sounds. Non-descript sounds, they are called as hm, ha, he in WhatsApp. I might have you might have remember my examples in your WhatsApp communication also. Okay, so this is the context where you can see what we are going to learn about this. You are going to learn what are what is the ethic, preconditions, requisites while you are engaging speeches, presentations, announcements. What are those skills you are need to possess will be covered in this coming sessions. Next one, written communication, communication involving using writing form. I'm saying that written form or writing form. So written communication is the predominant communication tool, particularly in formal context. In official or formal context. Written communication is most important. You are receiving an interview letter, you are having a memo, marks memo, you are getting an appointment order, you are getting some notices, you are replying to such notices in the form of written. That is the evidential record for all kinds of written communication. If you want to keep the record of your communication, certainly you are supposed to use written communication eventually. Next one, communication involving using writing form is called as written communication. Written communication is also useful as a way of recording what has been said, or for example, taking minutes in a meeting. For example, you have gathered a meeting, annual general meeting. Definitely, you are supposed to record all the minute-to-minute events taken place in that meeting in the form of minutes, and you are supposed to keep submission of the report to the registrar of companies within the stipulated time. That's why if you want to keep record of your meetings, definitely you are need to make a record of such activities in the form of written or writing. The next one, preparable for massive information. If you want to inform an idea or opinion or a text or a context to many people, definitely you are supposed to use written communication. If you want to know, let to know all people the same issue, definitely you are supposed to use to publish the same in a newspaper. Anything published in the newspaper will be reached to many people. That is an example of mass communication we have discussed in the earlier sessions, right? Right. If you want to communicate many people, you are nowadays using e-communication, that is electronic communication, and that will be an important aspect of written communication. You are sending mails, you are sending messages. That is, I mean, you are making some tweets and Facebook updations also, one kind of written communication. Next one, affordable for technical and complex information. See, this is the topic I'm dealing with, communication channels or communication skills. This is a technical and new one. That's why I'm using a written way. I'm making a slide myself and presenting you by explaining one by one. Got it? That's why if the topic or the idea or message you want to exchange with others, if it is in nature of technical or complex category, then you are supposed to use written communication only. You can see, when you can see a complete prospectus issued by a company for IPO, initial public offering, and that will contains all technical information. That is not, I mean, that cannot be possible to use of oral communication to convey the topics or the things to be present in the prospectus. Simply, we cannot make a speech about your prospectus. If we are able to print on a paper, then that will serve all means of communication. I mean to say, if the message or the content is with technical nature or with complex nature and with large quantities, certainly you are supposed to use of a written communication. My dear friends, I mean to say, oral communication and written communication are both using words and language. That's why. So for written communication, that language should possess its own script. Okay. If that language has only, speaking ability, speaking context, no written, then such written communication is not possible in such languages, right? So this is the category of verbal communication. You can see you are supposed to use both oral communication and written communication by the context. And next pattern, the process of verbal communication or media. I have already said you, we are discussing all context regard to the type of communication and the category of communication, whether verbal or non-verbal, and usage of media or channels, and the ethic. Ethic means what are the precautions to be maintained or predefined in that context. That's why in case of verbal communication, you are supposed to maintain or you are supposed to keep, practice some skills that are called as ethic of that verbal communication. Simply, I am saying that communication theory states that communication involves in a sender and receiver. Simply, we are discussing conveying information through a communication channel or media. In the communication process also, you are aware of that one. First, we are started with sender, next message, next third and important intermediary called as media or channel. This is the carrier that carries the information from the sender to receiver and receiver to sender, right? So this is one important aspect and major aspect in communication skill development. So appropriate channel to be used by yourself, right? That's why here I'm saying that choosing an appropriate communication channel. For example, you are supposed to talk to your friend who is in front of you. No usage of mic, no usage of mobile, or no usage of any technical device. Simply you can speak face to face. When the opposite, I mean the receiver is not available to you, you are supposed to talk to him through a phone, or you are supposed to talk to or communicate to him through a phone by usage of some text, using of voice message, or using of some WhatsApp or SMS or some emails also. Here I mean to say that when to use SMS, when to use WhatsApp, and when to use emails, and when to use sound recordings, and when to use call over. Okay, so this is important aspect that one must know, so that the communication effectiveness will be realized. The next one, encoding and decoding of messages is also important. If you want to send that information to the only specific person, you don't want to let to know other people, then you are supposed to encode, I mean convert your message into some another code, I mean another mode. Then decoding is also important. In the encoding of information may be performed by the sender, and the decoding of message may be performed by the receiver. The receiver must know how to decode it. So this is the responsibility of sender itself. Conversion is its responsibility, and let to know that receiver how to reconvert the encoded message into actual message is a part responsibility. The next one, feedback is most important. You are speaking to your friend through phone, he is not responding, at least is not making a sound, then there is no proper communication was taken place, proper feedback. I am saying that you are in any communication context, you may be a sender or you may be a receiver. You are supposed to act as sender if you are sending, and you must follow all these rules and precautions. Same time, if you are the receiver, you are also supposed to follow all these precautions for better and effect. You are sitting in a classroom, you are teaching your teacher, making some explanation about some topic, binomial distribution theorem. He could have spoken. You must react yourself, whether you understood or not. Whether any queries happen, you are supposed to raise your hand. You are supposed to communicate with him. Whether it may be a face-to-face, I mean live class, I mean offline context of classroom, or maybe in the online context of the classroom also. That's why feedback is most important. But in practical, what is happening? Sender not taking care for all these aspects. His intention is to send a message. He's thinking that whichever it is, what channel it is, it will be done. But the happening of that movement is not, I mean, completed regard to wrong selection of communication channel or media, and not obtaining proper feedback from the communicator, I mean in the receiver part or the audience part, right? So this is an important aspect one must get aware of this one, right? Next one, barriers to effective verbal communication. So far, we have been discussing for the last 25 to 30 minutes about verbal communication, and where they were useful and what are the precautions. But simply, you can find very less number of people are effective in communication. Very less number of people are effective in teaching, effective in communicating. You could hardly count number of people with effective communication skills, particularly usage of oral communication, of course usage of written communication also. Some people used to write many pages, but no context is there. Some people used to write very few words, or speak very few words, but the context is most elaborate and enlightful. That's why here the defect now is not with that words, usage of words, selection of words, and choosing of such words in written form, particularly in oral form, definitely is important parameters that made you effective communicator. Like say there are 5 important barriers, means hurdles, some constraints over your verbal communication journey. You can see these are some speed breakers in verbal communication journey, maybe in usage of oral or maybe usage of your written. First one, lacking clarity. What you are supposed to communicate, what you are supposed to send, what you are supposed to sell, what you are supposed to present, what you are supposed to exchange. You must know. You here, the sender must know what is. Same time, what you need or what you are required is the important aspect of the receiver point of also. Many people used to have some mic and they spoke on for several minutes without any topic, repeating of topic. The context, they have no idea what is going on there, which topic is being deliberated, which is prone for group discussion. No, many speakers fail to this one. That's why before you starting of usage of verbal communication, you must have clarity what to speak or what to write. This is a simple exercise that you could know before you are entering into this verbal communication process. If you have aware of these things, definitely communication process will be a free flow of movement and with effectiveness end. Next one, using stereotypes and generalizations. Many people used to follow these stereotypes and generalizations. Stereotype means usage of some words or sentences regularly. What we want to know, what we want to know, I mean to say, I mean to say. Some people used to start with this one. Before addressing, they used to, so today we gathered. Why you are using so? So is a word, you are making use of that word to conclude or to divert your topic, what you have told before and what you are going to speak in the coming time. That's why, so usage of so, what we want to say, I mean to say, no, 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 no. These are some stereotypes. And next one, generalization. Generalization means application of your experiences in all contexts. You have a wrong opinion among students in somewhere, or you might have a bitter experience by the students in somewhere. Don't go that everywhere you could find the same situation. That's why no question of generalization of your experiences. Don't mingle your personal experiences in all contexts, right? So avoid these stereotypes. Have you understand? Have you understand? This is one kind of stereotypes. That too, that want, of course. So that too, that want. Have you understand? Are important words. They are part of that communication process, but they are not only parcel of that communication. You must take care of this one. Usage of stereotypes and generalization when you are speaking or when you are writing. Next, jumping to conclusions. Right. So conclusion shall be the last part of your speech or your presentation or your written communication context. But people just, for example, a person using this verbal speech is saying that to his students, we will discuss 5 important aspects of communication today. 5 important aspects of communication today. First is lack of clarity. Second is usage of stereotypes. And the conclusion. Where are the remaining 3, 4, 5? Right? So you must have an idea that what you are going to speak. Don't shy yourself that speak with the usage of your paper. Many people use speech notes. Don't worry. There is nothing wrong with that one. Usage of speech notes, usage of some slides, usage of some handwritten manuscripts. It's because don't exclude anything you want to say and don't include anything you don't want to say. I repeat, don't exclude anything you want to say and don't include anything you don't want to say. This is important. Many people used to going for we have some 2 aspects of this topic. One aspect he could he could say, and the next aspect he will jump into next topic, right? So jumping into next topic may be suitable, but you must re-jump to the actual topic which you want to continue. So many people starts with a agenda and moves to sidetrack and ends somewhere where that ending is taken place. He or she even don't know. If such condition of that speaker, generally audience, particularly the receivers, feel very inconvenience and embarrassment, and no question of feedback will be expected from that one. That's why don't go much more topics to speak on that time. If you want to speak on, use some PowerPoint presentation or a slide or a handwritten or a something, a laptop or mobile also. But it should be an aid. It should not be complete one. Next one, dysfunctional responses. Oh, I forgot. Ayyo, what happening? See, everybody is responseless. Irresponsible people, dirty people. No response from you. Right? You are something. You are something. If you are going to speak that one, you are nothing in speaking context. This is called a dysfunctional. Functional responses are important. If any student answered you properly, you must applaud them. Ah, what a nice interaction. What a wonderful question. I appreciate you. God bless you. These are some functional responses. But what is happening in that dysfunctional responses is being taken place in this verbal and written context. That's why communication is being failed. So don't defame, don't underestimate, or don't comment positively or negatively unnecessarily in any context, because your intention is to disseminate some information or idea and knowledge. That's why don't use dysfunctional responses. Next one, last but not least, lacking confidence. Self-awareness, self-respect, self-confidence are important. Self-awareness, you must aware what capacity, I mean how much time you can speak, how much paras you can write, how many words you can use in conversations. This is having self-confidence. Self-respect, you can speak only. I feel that I can speak this lecture very well than others. Don't name them, right? So this is self-confidence. And next one, self-awareness, self-confidence, and self-respect and self-clarity. So all this called as self-confidence, right? So trust yourself, believe yourself, and trust the people who are in the position of receivers or audience. You must trust yourself, you must respect yourself, you must give respect to the audience or receivers, you must trust the people of audience or receivers also. If such things were kept in your mind, definitely you will be speaking. How can you get, how can you build up self-confidence? By practicing. Only one capsule or one topic by practicing. Mirror speaking. You are, before you are going to speak or deliver or present anything, you are supposed to make rehearsal yourself. Practice makes everything perfect. You know that saying. That's why many times you are supposed to speak this context or present before a mirror. Nowadays, you are, ultra model mobile technology with you. You can record your speech before to actual context. You can read or you can watch your video many times and find the drawbacks and flaws, and you can get recover. So that rectifying of them, you will get the best speaker. Okay. So my intention is in this lecture series regard to communication, everybody must follow some ethic and communication precautions regard to communicating everything and every situation in a effective and fruitful way. So these are some hurdles. By practicing and by reading and by listening, many kinds of listenings are available in technology based platforms, YouTube and something, LinkedIn. You have some motivational speakers, many more. You are supposed to listen many times, and you are supposed to add daily one important word or usage of a statement or a usage of a proverb whenever you are having such chance, right? So this is regard to verbal communication barriers, and next session we are going to discuss regard to how to overcome such verbal communication barriers, because time not permits to complete all topic in a session. That's why tomorrow we will be making some brief regard to what we have discussed today, and we are going to have some strategies, discuss some strategies that make you to overcome these speed breakers in verbal communication. I hope you got some idea regard to today's session. Stay home and stay safe. Be happy with yourself and with your capacity and with your appearance. You are the hero or role model or heroine of yourself, so that you will be in a better way towards to effective communication process. See you in the next session. Till then, have a nice and good times. See you.